Indeed, a huge part of a relationship with God is exactly based on honor and respect. But if that's all there is, then how do we come to God every day in prayer if it's just honor and respect? Some people think, that God is so huge and so great that they don't want to trouble God with their daily things. So save that up for when they have something really big going on, because, God, we have to honor and respect God so much, we don't want to bother God with all our daily activities. But then, you see, then when the crisis comes, when the really big thing comes in a person's life, these people have a hard time turning to God because they haven't done so in so long, and they don't know really how to do it. They don't know if God even knows who they are, because they've never come to God for anything at all. And that's sad. We should really follow the example that Jesus lays down for us. He calls God Father, Dad, Papa. Close, intimate relationship. He also, at the Garden of Gethsemane, says, Father, let it be your will, not mine. That's another side of the equation. It's kind of like God is your best friend. There's simply nothing that you do that you can't bring to God. No incident so small or so grand that you can't simply talk to God. God is always on the side of listening to us. And there are plenty of things on our side that separate us from God, but there's nothing on God's side that separates God from us. So terribly sad it is when we think God doesn't even know us. Every day, we can keep knocking down all those barriers that we set up between us and God, and simply talk with God about anything and everything. Share our days, share our thoughts, share our frustrations, share our joys. We can Twitter to God. We can do this every single day. And then when those really big things happen in our lives, then it would just be natural to turn to our best friend. Turn to God. And give everything over to God and completely trust in God's love, grace, and mercy for our lives. Now, I know what some of you are going to say about this. Dave Stanfield will tell me for sure. He'll say, fine sermon, Pastor, but God is not simply our best friend. God is, after all, God. To which I say, yeah, I know that, and I fully respect that. But the thing I'm trying to get across today is that we can always come to God all the time in any way. It's okay. Now there is, I should mention this, there is a word of warning I should throw out, because it goes back to Moses and Jacob. If we dare to have that close, intimate, everyday relationship with God, lo and behold, a day may come in our lives when we will see a burning bush, or we may be wrestling with God, and then our lives will change in ways we can't even imagine. So yeah, God is our best friend, but God is still God. And so is able to take our lives, which God, after all, created, and through our lives with a life we can't even imagine. There is tension there, as well there should be. The Hebrew people both loved and feared God. They lived that tension out. But you know what? God already has given us these lives. Why not live them the way God asks us to do? In total relationship with God, willing to engage in whatever